everything ad hoc, ad lib. Hello, I'm Jonathan, and I have no idea how I ended up on this stage. I was introduced as the head of digital at the WURM Group. And 5 or 6 weeks ago, Michael called me. Hi, wouldn't you like to speak at a print summit, he said. And I will tell you the story how I, as a digital marketeer, came to speak on a print summit. And I heard a lot about the movies, and we talked about movies. This is probably the big thing here. And this is why I thought, well, I'll start the same way. Forrest Gump once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And this is how I ended up here. Roughly last year in January, I sat together with my managers at the board meeting, and Philip Wurm, one of my managers, said, well, all of this topic of catalog, I'm so fed up with it, I want to get it off my desk. And me, with this digital native background, I said, yeah, I'll pull it over to my department as well. I'll take care of it as well. We were actually established as a marketing department. Now we have a D in addition, digital marketing department. And we said, we'll manage somehow. It can't be that this starts time and again. Well, I sat there. This management board meeting, and I said, well, print is dead anyway. Who cares about print? With me, it's about conversion rate, AI. With me, it's about e-com, about sales. Why do I need print? We'll manage it one way or the other. It can't all be that difficult. Quoting oneself is not very nice, but I've done it to make you understand who we are and what we do. Yes, we're a wholesaler for seasonal decorations. Yes, but we sell things nobody needs, but everyone loves. This is Christmas baubles. This is Christmas Wichtel. This is nice mugs and plates. Everything you have in your cupboard, and you buy an impulse buying. And we do this as E2B. In 1958, we were established. We're in the second generation of our family business, and I've been with the company for 7 years now. 7 years ago, we used to have a little warehouse we imported from the Far East, and then said, well, digital first. We want to push our web shop in particular. So, Jonathan, do whatever you think you need to do, and I was allowed to do that. Now I stand here as the Visionary Award winner, as was said before. We already won the German Online Shop Award this year. What's so special about us is that we're B2B. Our buyers are head buyers of OB market, and we have a very broad bandwidth of customers. And my classical persona is in the mid-50s, female. And she runs her own seasonal decorations store. Our articles, and this is probably important to understand, our articles are not online articles. A mug or a Christmas gnome, you wouldn't search that online because you need to buy this Christmas gnome. No, this is always an impulse purchase. You're on the Christmas market and everything is so nice. And for the $29.90, I will buy this gnome because it fits my decoration so nicely. And I have too many anyway. With us, it's slightly different. Our customers buy in big volumes. Our shopping basket is roughly an average of €1,000. We make between 11 and 12 million annually through the web shop, and another 10 million through classical channel via the phone, and another 10 million through classical key accounting. So there I stood, or sat rather, in this management board meeting. So what do we have in terms of resources? Well, I had been in the company for 5 years, and we talked about digital first. I knew that 3 or 4 times we're sending out a catalog, but that was everything I knew. you probably have to know that about me that I don't like our products. I couldn't care less, but I love e-com, I love digital, and I'm a capitalist through and through. I love sales, I love revenue. So there I said, and the status quo was this. We had 2 full-time graphic artists who worked for 3 months on 1 Christmas catalog, 5,000 articles, and they manual placed these items on pages of the catalog. And I sat there and I thought, well, you can manage this better one way or the other. Then there was this wonderful AI bubble. Okay, we'll inject some AI and we'll do it. And at the end, we sent out a catalog with 356 pages, 5,000 items, 640 plus hours of work per catalog. This catalog weighed 1.7 kilograms, and we actually sent 8,000 copies throughout Europe. In Germany, we call this a big, big thing. You don't want to know about the shipping costs, the postage. The production costs, don't mention it. And the printing costs, well, anyway. So I sat there and I thought, well, in my ignorance, it'll work out. This is an image for those in the print arena. Here somebody said who actually placed article by article in InDesign and then edited an article number and then said volume, material, and page per page. I am efficiency driven. I want to do everything better. And I said, well, do I really need these 2 guys, the full-time graphic artists? And I thought, well, the catalog is only a touch point. We send it out 2 or 3 times a year. And my idea was pretty simple. Well, I know of the articles. I have the images somehow. And what comes out in the end, mainly we've sent out something. And we'll manage. Then I attended an e-com summit and met Michael. And I said, take what I've got and cook it. I want to rationalize and shed my 2 graphic artists and produce this catalog at the print of a button. And this is how we got started. I'm the cook. I'm the chef. I'm Michael. I work for Laudert. And I will walk you through the various stages of the project, starting with the creation phase. Then we'll talk a bit about the automation. And last but not least, tell you what's happening in printing and the digital export. Jonathan already said it. The original catalog was made with loving attention to detail manually. Each product was confectioned individually depending on the size. There was a reference established, lots of work, high costs, and no possibility to do mass updates in this catalog. But the issue was the catalog was known with our customers. Our customers selected products from the catalog. They ordered based on this catalog. So how do you achieve maintaining this inspirational character? So we created templates. Feedback was not too good because it was still too structured. We didn't want to automate everything across the board. No, your request was to have a catalog that inspires. So with the creative people, we sat down again and looked at what the presentation online looked like. There were various categories for the Christmas catalog, and with various color sets, own brands, private labels, with own logos, etc. And based on this, we created the introductory pages, and they were geared to the themes. And we tried to dissolve the fixed grid or the templates. with the aim of no longer having these hard edges. We had various sizes available. Everything became a little more airy. We introduced colorful backgrounds. And you also worked on your images, created shadows, made the images look a little friendlier. And this is what came of it. So these are the introductory pages on the top left and tuned to the colors of the products. The second act of this stage play, it was nerve-wracking to come up with this result because we needed data. The first approach was you simply export the data from the shopware, allow the AI to work with it, to sort it based on attributes, and then it's going to work out. So we took the data, and the first result was very sobering. Everything looked pretty wild. The individual categories were all mixed up, and the products that formed pairs or assortments were scattered all the way through. So you actually created curated data, you put together ranges and assortments, you sorted the products, sorted the sizes, and then used AI to harmonize the titles, and then calculated the images. And in the end, we had a perfect data file, and we were able to create the layout we showed you. Then the implementation. We deliberately decided in favor of a streamlined approach. We're not using the complete print suite, but only Print Comet. So this is a very lean offline solution. We used your data. They are converted into a local data file. And then the rest is fully automatic. No post-processing required. And we deliberately decided to do so with the option to go to the print cloud with the same technology so that you are able to generate a PDF. At the end of the day, however, the product is this big volume catalog, and the time we saved in production was now invested in the selection of paper, the finish of the paper, the gloss, to upgrade the catalog even further, because this catalog is to trigger feelings. There is a basic circulation sent through Lettershop, but there are also on-demand versions so that customers can really order catalogs. A separate shop was created through which customers can order the catalog, and they did order catalogs. And I'll talk about this a little later. It was not cheap. There is some investment involved, but it pays off because customers get a coupon that they can actually redeem in the B2B segment. I'll take the catalog. So this was the result of the first production. And yes, after this first production, how was the feedback of the customers? Because Christmas is over, Easter is next, and so how did the customers respond? So there we stood with a catalog based on blood, sweat, and tears. Night shifts, all-nighters that I controlled Excel spreadsheets and manually sorted items, item by item. I do not know whether anyone works in a family-run business. Well, in our company, and this was a hard lesson, in print, everybody has his or her opinion, and they're all invited. Even the senior boss, aged 86, has his ideas and his wishes. And then there is the lady from bookkeeping, and she also is invited to comment on this. I was unaware of this. Well, I so far lived in a world where everybody said, well, he's doing something with the web shop, and all of a sudden I found myself in a situation where I wanted to be more efficient. But in the end, there was a lot of effort involved. Michael already said we wanted to be inspirational, because I only consider this as a touch point. So we formed collections of products that fitted in terms of colors, but not in terms of category. And we also added an EAN code. And it can be scanned out of our system. I wanted to create that bridge between the offline catalog and our online offering. So through searching online, you can scan this EAN code and you can add the products to your shopping cart. It's going to be great. This is what we all thought, and people will use it. Now we have tons of time to look at the gold foil in the film, because after all, this product catalog is also a product. And we wanted to give this feeling of something new. You just mentioned it. Normally, in our customer segment, the expectation is, well, sooner or later you will send this catalog 3 times a year. And this is also the expectation that I want to comply with. But I have to couple it with some sales numbers. Not every customer can receive a catalog. And the senior, aged 86, first said, what? We've always sent this catalog for 30 years now. What do customers do if this catalog no longer ends up in the mailbox? We created Shopify and said, well, one single product, pay 25 euros and you get a 30 euro voucher. And people bought it. And not only our customers did so, even B2C customers buy this catalog because they simply want to have it, because they want to have a Christmas catalog. Don't ask me why, but it worked. And through this, we were able to reduce the circulation and also subsidize our costs. Then, my idea of having the catalog as a touch point. The catalog was issued, and this rings in the new season. From June, July, we actually have orders for Christmas goods for the new season. And we can also measure this. But the feedback to the catalog was completely different. Too much chaos, too much collection, too little category. The things I thought, well, for the categories, you have the online shop. You can use the online shop, the web shop, where you find everything nicely categorized. No, the feedback was completely different. This is chaos. I can't work with it. Now I'm going to show you. I don't know who uses Flip HTML5. This has been around for like 15 years. PDF that I upload, and then customers browse the catalog.
And people actually do that. And that really damaged my self-confidence, because I was asking myself, who actually does that? Who uses PDFs? Who access them via their browser? My users actually do that. And with that in mind, we came to the conclusion that everything we think or don't think for ourselves doesn't really matter, because ultimately the customer decides how they want to use our digital versions or print versions. And reality was that the catalog is not just a touch point that leads customers online, but we had to change our approach and understand that customers actually work with our catalog. And after the review phase, this is how we set up the catalog now. We want to have an inspirational part still, and we want to give customers an idea of how they can use our product, but we don't use these categories in the online shop. This is exactly how the customer wants this. And at the beginning, we said we take the data from the online shop and then structure it according to the date of the attachment, color, and so on. This is the inspirational part, which is good and well, but we also reintroduced the traditional categories that customers got used to online, and we reintroduced that to the print catalog. And we decided to take the same approach for the Easter season. And ultimately, we need more categories, less collections. So how can a catalog that in a way is a side project in our digital concept, what can we learn from such a catalog for our e-com? We did learn that the customer still has their traditional behavior, and we want to use and reflect these behaviors in our online catalog. So the paper-based catalog is still a tool that they use beyond just information purposes. And that's shown us that the catalog works together with our online shop very well. And the title of my presentation includes something about agentic. We heard a lot about buzzwords, what AI will and can do. And those of you who know me, I use in my everyday life plenty of these tools, but I'm still critical, and I'm critical when I see how our customers interact with our catalog and how we can integrate this in our online shop. So I'm not at a print summit, I'm at an e-commerce summit. That's what it feels like, because everyone talks about agentic AI. And the catalog shows me very clearly that I do not believe that humans like you and I, who live in a capitalist society, will pass on the whole decision-making process to agents. On the one hand, we have the customer, and we all understand the feeling that is generated when we purchase something. It releases dopamine, be it an expensive dress, a luxury car, a mobile phone, jewelry. Every time when we make a decision, I am going to treat myself to this or that product. Then we get a feeling of reassurance. And I am of the impression that this whole aspect is not considered in the complete AI process. Where is the human in the loop? Where is the customer in the loop? Where does that take place? And me, as a retailer, don't just want to be an AIP. I don't just want to deliver data and upload product data and use customer data. We've just heard that machine-to-machine marketing might be the future. I do not want this, because where does that leave me? Then I only deliver products. I believe that agentic commerce can only automate the basics, but not the emotional level. And our decorative business has a very emotional target customer, and this target customer will never appoint an agent to make their purchases. Yes, it's going to work for hardware, for screws, for print copies, but not in our decorative business. And if we go back to the catalog and what we can see and learn from the catalog, we all ask ourselves what the future holds. 3 to 4 months ago, we saw great presentations on AI in the checkout, and we said, that's great, we want to do this as well. And we've also been listening to the previous presentation where we talked about the financing. We all seen open AI advertising and how advertising can be conducted by the AI. But to me, this is only a cycle that leads back to the status quo. If you call it OpenAI or Alphabet or whatever, it's not the end to all. And I believe that this is an environment where we clearly need to position ourselves as retailers, as traders, and what we can learn when we prepare the relevant product data that's used for our printing solutions, then, well, I believe that this can only work based on our data. So we are setting this up at the moment ourselves. Based on our data, we are setting up a communication channel within our online shop, which, using the data that we have collected on our customers, to interact without having to pass on our data to some big shot in Silicon Valley. And I do believe that this whole area of the brand and anchoring emotions for the customer is going to be more and more important in the future. There will not be a centralization. No, it's going to take place in our shop because, as we've just heard earlier on today, trust, emotions, brand awareness is going to be more and more important on a human level, and we need to take good care not to pass all this on to AI. And maybe some among you are familiar with this already, but let's ask ourselves what's going to happen if and when our agent at some point says, no, I'm going to do this different. So you can't really get little shops on board. And little shop owners will not just agree to accept things that they don't have any control of blindfoldedly. And what I've learned from this entire catalog project is the following. We are now sending 7.5 catalogs twice a year to our customers. And ultimately, they're more than just a touch point. They are a communication channel that generates turnover. So digital first to me does not mean digital only, because we understand that customers cannot just expect to jump on the bandwagon of the hype. We need to address our customers, how they want to be approached, and we need to listen to our customers and their preferences and their feedback accordingly. Thanks for that. And with that said, let's connect.